It's officially the holiday season at the theme parks, and that means that I obviously went ahead and decorated. I'm so excited to get to the parks this year, and I can't wait to tell you everything that Universal has planned for the holiday season. So Universal Orlando has some things that they do pretty much every single year. So if you've been in the past couple of years, then this might seem pretty familiar to you. But if you haven't, there is so much to do at Universal during the holiday season. So Universal celebrates from November the 12th to January the 1st. If you are a Power or Seasonal Pass holder, you will be blocked out from the parks from December 17th to the 31st during this celebration. Those dates should kind of give you an idea of the worst time, the most busy time to go to Universal will be during the holiday season. It's gonna be pretty crowded around Christmas time and around Thanksgiving break. If you're looking for the best time to go see Universal during the holiday season, the least crowded times will be the week before Thanksgiving, which will be November 14th through the 17th, and then also the week after Thanksgiving, so November 28th through 30th. For December, the beginning of the month is going to be much less crowded. You have to think of it like when are kids going to be out of school? December 1st through the 14th, it's going to be super, super chill in the parks. Obviously, the weekends are going to be much more crowded than the weekdays will be, but December will not get super crowded until probably around the 15th or 16th. December 17th is a Saturday, and it's going to be the first day that most people are out of school, out of work for the holidays, so you can expect it to be pretty crowded from then until New Year's Eve. On a few Fridays and Saturdays, there will be Orlando Informer meetups, which is something that I would want to be aware of if I were going to the park as a regular guest. And there are still a couple of tickets for Fridays, so I'll tell you what the Orlando Informer meetup is and how you can either take advantage of that or be aware of it while you're on your trip. So Orlando Informer hosts meetups where you get to have after hours access to the parks. During the holiday celebration, Orlando Informer is going to host meetups on November 18th and 19th, December 2nd and 3rd, and December 9th and 10th. For all of these dates, on the Fridays, the parks will close to regular guests at 7 p.m. and on the Saturdays, the parks will close to regular guests at 8 p.m. So just know that if you are going on one of those dates, not as part of the Informer, you will have to leave the parks at 7 on Fridays and 8 on the Saturdays. If you're interested in going to the Orlando Informer meetup, I will leave a link to those dates that are still available down below. There are some Fridays that are still available, and it's super, super fun. We like to go at least once a year to the meetups and see everything in just such a different way. It's less crowded, you can get unlimited food and non-alcoholic beverages, and it's just so magical. So if you're already going to be there and it's in your budget to purchase a night for the Orlando Informer meetup, I highly, highly suggest it. So the link to purchase tickets will be below, as well as some meetup tips and some vlogs from our meetups so that you can see what it's really like. As far as park hours go, the other days, I would say that most days the parks are going to open to regular guests at 9 a.m. according to the calendars right now. Obviously, there are going to be some early hours where you can get early park entry if you are staying at a Universal hotel or if you are a certain level annual pass holder, depending on the date. But those are all going to be in the Universal app, so check that when you are looking at your trip. As far as closing times for the parks go, most of the time, both Islands of Adventure and Studios will close between 7 and 9 p.m. and those hours will be extended on the week of and after Christmas. There are like some random Tuesdays where one of the parks closes at like 6 p.m. for some reason. I would assume it's for some kind of after hours event for like a company. You can just check the calendar that I'll link for you down below and go ahead and check out what dates you are going and when the parks will open and close for those dates. If you're going to Universal Orlando, you probably love riding rides, or maybe you just love the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. But anyways, there are some rides that you might want to be concerned about if you're going during the holiday season. So Rip Ride Rockit is set to be closed from November 13th through the 17th, which is at the very, very beginning of the holiday season and will be one of the least crowded times to go, which is why I'm assuming they're doing it then to get everything ready to go for the busiest season of the year. The Mummy is still in technical rehearsals and hopefully that changes soon, but I checked on it yesterday and it was still under technical rehearsals. People are getting to ride it, but it's just not actually open. Maybe one day we'll get the Mummy back to full capacity. We'll see. And then Ripsaw Falls is closed indefinitely. We do not know when that's going to reopen, or some people are even saying if that's going to reopen, but if you were going to ride Ripsaw Falls in December, I might think you're a crazy person. So those are all the rides that we need to be concerned about. Nothing big. They're not going to close down huge rides during the most busy time of the year. All right, now it's time for what we are most excited for, which is going to be the Christmas events that are happening at Studios, Islands of Adventure, and even City Walk. Most of the events that we're going to talk about are included in a regular park ticket, just in your regular admission, but if they are not, I will let you know how much extra those cost and how to get a reservation for those. First, we're going to talk about what is included in just a regular theme park admission, and then we will get to some add-ons at the end. I'm going to break this down by park because I just feel like it's going to be easier, more organized that way, and maybe helpful to people who don't get the 2-park pass. So we're going to start over in Universal Studios because this is where the Macy's parade is. So Universal's holiday parade featuring Macy's is probably the premier event over at Studios. The parade happens daily and it includes amazing balloons, floats, and performances. At the end of the parade, Santa even lights the big tree, which is so fun. The times for the parade are going to be posted in your Universal app, so make sure you check that for the days that you're there. And obviously, like, the parade and the time of the parade are always subject to change depending on weather and stuff like that. When you're choosing a spot to watch from, I would probably say the best place to watch is going to be in the New York City part of Studios, specifically around Macy's, so that you can see Santa light the tree at the end. Other good places to watch from would be like the curves along the parade route, because you can see everyone as they are moving around, and they stop and perform at certain places along the route, so those curves are really good places to see those performances happen. Another thing that happens in Studios is all of the performances that you're used to seeing, so like the Blues Brothers, Marilyn, all of those performances are going to have holiday theming. You'll also be able to see the parade performers around the Christmas tree kind of leading up to the Christmas parade. All of the performances are so much fun, and it's just something that you can do while you're walking around and trying to get to an attraction or get to somewhere to eat. You can stop and see the Blues Brothers or one of the normal performances with kind of a holiday overlay. Speaking of performances, on December 3rd, 4th, 10th, and 11th, Mannheim Steamroller is going to be on stage performing at Universal Studios. They're one of the most popular Christmas groups of all time, so if you're there on one of those days, I highly suggest checking that little concert out. It is of course included in your park ticket, so it's not an extra or an add-on. Just stop by the stage while they're there and listen to some Christmas music. Another thing that Universal is bringing back, which I'm so excited about, is the holiday tribute store. I cannot wait to see what we get this year because it's not open yet, and they are pretty secretive about what they're putting in the tribute store because it's so much fun and different every single time. Last year they even had like an Earl the Squirrel room, they had a Harry Potter theme room, and obviously something for Grinchmas, but I just can't wait to see what it is this year. So stay tuned for that because it's gonna be amazing. Hopefully we get a good Harry Potter theme room this year because obviously that's what I want. Like, when you think of Christmas, what else do you think of other than Harry Potter? Hopefully that's not just me. But speaking of Harry Potter, the Wizarding World is going to be decked out for Christmas. In Universal Studios, Diagon Alley is going to have garland and decorations everywhere. And it's super cool because they have different garland for each like storefront, which makes it seem like they're little small businesses in the Wizarding World out there decorating their own storefront, which is so cute and magical to me. While you're in Diagon Alley, you will also be able to hear special performances from Celestine Warbeck and the Banshees, who will have their holiday show out for you, and I have heard it is amazing. That's all for Studios, but over in Islands of Adventure, there is so much Christmas. And since we can just take the train straight from King's Cross over to Islands and straight to Hogsmeade, we're gonna start with the Wizarding World. Obviously, Hogsmeade and the castle will be decorated for Christmas, which is so exciting to me. And the snowman is finally gonna fit in with the decor. There will be beautiful garland and lights all along the village, and there already is. They've actually been setting up garland for a while now, and Hogsmeade looks amazing. There will also be special performances from the Frog Choir, which is so much fun. But the most exciting thing is probably the Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle, which is a projection show on the castle. This is such a popular show. It starts at about sundown, and that will be the most crowded showing for the Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts. But it keeps running throughout the night, so you don't have to go to the first showing. The later in the night it gets, the less crowded that projection show will be. So again, showtimes will be posted in the app, and there's a way that you can get an after-hours showing of the Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle, but we will talk about that later because it's included in an add-on. One thing that I did want to mention is that the hot butterbeer used to be seasonal, and now it's year-round, so you will be able to get hot butterbeer pretty much anywhere throughout the Wizarding World. So that's always a plus. Now, I would say the main thing that Universal does at Christmas is going to be Grinchmas and Islands of Adventure. Seuss Landing literally turns into Whoville, including the Whos who will be walking around, and obviously the Grinch himself. The decorations in Seuss Landing are probably the best in the park, and they've already started to go up. I'm so excited to see all of those. Plus, all of the character interactions that you're able to have in Whoville are literally unmatched. You'll also be able to see the Holiday Spectacular, which is a retelling of the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The showtimes for that will also be posted in the Universal app, and it's included in a park ticket, so just make sure you know when those shows are, because I do think they get pretty crowded. The rest of the parks will have their decorations up, but those are the main things that you can do included in your park ticket. Now, let's talk about add-ons because there are some really, really good ones. And we're gonna start in Islands of Adventure with a breakfast with the Grinch. You can make a reservation between November 12th and December 29th to have breakfast with the Grinch at Circus McGurkus. There will be character interactions, and you'll even get a digital picture of you interacting with the Grinch. It's a breakfast buffet, which is so appealing to me. The cost is going to be $41.99 plus tax for ages 10 and over, and $26.99 plus tax for ages 3 to 9. I will put the link to reserve your Grinch breakfast down in the description box, so you can go ahead and click that. Reservations for that will sell out, so make sure that you go check yours out and get your reservations for whenever you're going to be in the parks. Again, just make sure that if you do not have a 2-park ticket, that you reserve this on a day that you have entrance into Islands of Adventure, because you have to have the ability to get into Islands of Adventure to have breakfast with the Grinch in Seuss Landing. If you have a Premier or Preferred Annual Pass, there are some dates where you can get a small discount on these, and I will link all of that information below too. You have to go through a little bit of a different reservation process though. So I'll link all that information below so you can go get your Grinchmas breakfast reserved. I'm so excited. So another add-on that sounds super cool is Universal's Holiday Tour. It's basically a VIP tour, but you do have to have a 2-park ticket or a Premier or Preferred Annual Pass to purchase this. The tour says it starts at $79.99 plus tax for each person, but anytime that I looked for a reservation, they all range from $89.99 to $119.99 plus tax. Premium and Preferred APs are able to get a $10 discount on whenever they book. Just make sure that you book using the reservation number that I will post here and post below in the description. So Universal's Holiday Tour has so many extras for you. You get a meet and greet with the Grinch and Max, which is like a huge deal in Islands of Adventure, because last year the meet and greet lines for the Grinch were absurd. You will also get preferred seating for the Grinchmas Holiday Spectacular. There will also be a hot cocoa bar and a snack area for you inside of Circus McGurkus. You'll get a picture taken with Santa and priority access to one attraction. This is based on your tour's itinerary, and the attraction's not going to be the same for every single tour. And then finally, you get an after-hours showing of the Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle. When I looked at reservations for this, the tour usually starts at 6 to 6:30ish depending on the day. It is a 4.5-hour walking tour, so you will obviously be there after the park closes, and the tour is given in groups of 12. So if you have a party of 4, your group will be combined with other groups who are also going on this tour. Remember, you will have to have a 2-park pass or an annual pass that's not blocked out, because you will be going to both Islands of Adventure and Studios during this tour. Reservations for the tour can be made online, and I will link that link below, or you can make reservations by calling 866-346-9350. I will also put that phone number below so that you don't have to remember it, because that was kind of tough for me. Another thing that you can do in both parks and in City Walk is go on the holiday Christmas tree hunt. So there are beautiful trees scattered throughout Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios, and City Walk. You can pick up a scavenger hunt map for $10 at pretty much any retail location, and when you find all of the trees, you will get a special prize, which is usually an ornament. I think that this year, since I'm pregnant, I am going to do the scavenger hunt for the trees, and I'll get the ornament, and then that's gonna be perfect to put on our tree. Of course, there's going to be seasonal treats and merch all throughout Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, and City Walk. I'm super excited to see what they have this year and try out all of those treats. I'm not sure what merchandise item I'm going to be getting, but I really think that I hope it's going to be cold enough that I can get one of Mrs. Weasley's sweaters. And then lastly, at City Walk, Mistletoe Pines Village is returning, and I think it's going to be bigger than it was last year. So Mistletoe Pines is a little Christmas village where there's lots of shopping, treats, and definitely a lot of photo ops. So that will be super fun for days where you're not going into the parks, or for when you're just walking through, to be able to be immersed in the Christmas season already. There will also be some places in City Walk that will have seasonal menus like Voodoo Donuts and Toothsome Milkshakes. But I think that about wraps up everything you can do at Universal Orlando during the holiday season. So November 12th through January 1st, you'll be able to enjoy all of these fun things. Hopefully this video helps you plan your holiday vacation to Universal Orlando. If it does, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I cannot wait to go myself and take you along with me, and I will see you in the next one.